Hello there, in this video, hold the line. Hello there, in this video we're going to look at 10 usability heuristics for user interface design. So let's go. Okay, welcome back to the next video. So in this video we're on NNG's website, and actually this is a classic article that people tend to go back to over the years. These usability heuristics were created by Jakob Nielsen. I mean, the original article was in 1994. Looks like it was updated again in January 2024. Let's go through each of the points, and there are 10 really good principles here that you can apply to design that I think will really help you. So summary at the top, 10 general principles for interaction design. They're called heuristics because they are broad rules of thumb and not specific usability guidelines. Alright, so the article is nicely structured. There are some free downloads here as well, and we've got a bit of a contents here at the top. But let's just dive in. Okay, so number 1, so visibility of system status. The design should always keep users informed about what's going on through appropriate feedback within a reasonable amount of time. So I'm just going to continue reading. So when users know the current system status, they learn the outcome of their prior interactions and determine the next steps. So predictable interactions create trust in the product as well as the brand. Scrolling down, it's nicely structured. We've got some tips here. So communicate clearly to users what the system status is. So no action with consequences to the user should be taken without informing them. Present feedback to the user as quickly as possible, ideally immediately, and build trust through open and continuous communication. And what I like about this is we've got some learn more articles as well, or videos, so you can jump off and use those links as well. Alright, on to number 2, so match between the system and the real world. I'm just going to read through this. So the design should speak the user's language, use words, phrases and concepts familiar to the user rather than internal jargon. Follow real world conventions, making information appear in a natural, logical order. So the way you should design depends very much on your specific user. Terms, concepts, icons and images that seem perfectly clear to you and your colleagues may be unfamiliar or confusing to your users. When a design's controls follow real-world conventions and correspond to desired outcomes called natural mapping, it's easier for users to learn and remember how the interface works. This helps build an experience that feels intuitive. So down to the tips, ensure users can understand meaning without having to go look up the words and definition. Never assume your understanding of words or concepts will match that of your users. And user research will uncover your users' familiar terminology as well as their mental models around important concepts. Again, links to videos, links to other articles. Okay, let's go to the next one. So user control and freedom. Users often perform actions by mistake. They need a clearly marked emergency exit to leave the unwanted action without having to go through an extended process. When it's easy for people to back out of a process or undo an action, it fosters a sense of freedom and confidence. Exits allow users to remain in control of the system and avoid getting stuck and feeling frustrated. So support undo and redo, show a clear exit, make sure the exit is clearly labeled and discoverable. And we've got some articles there as well. Alright, let's go to the next one. So consistency and standards. Users should not have to wonder whether different words, situations or actions mean the same thing. Follow platform and industry conventions. So Jacob's Law states that people spend most of their time using digital products other than yours. Experiences with those products set the expectations. Failing to maintain consistency may increase cognitive load, forcing them to learn something new. I'll skim through these as best I can to give you the highlights. So improve learnability by maintaining both types of consistency, internal and external. Maintain consistency within a single product. Follow established industry conventions. And we've got some learn more articles here. I actually forgot to look to the left because we've got some little images as well, and it gives an example of the heuristic. So here we've got check-in counters are located at the front of hotels. This consistency meets customer expectations. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, so error prevention. Good error messages are important, but the designs carefully prevent problems from occurring in the first place. So either eliminate the error-prone conditions or check for them and present users with confirmation options before they commit to the action. So it talks here about slips and mistakes. So slips are unconscious errors caused by inattention. Mistakes are conscious errors based on a mismatch between the user's mental model and the design. Some tips here. So prioritize your efforts. So prevent high cost errors first and then little frustrations. avoid slips by providing helpful constraints and good defaults, and prevent mistakes by removing memory burdens, support undo, and warning your users. So again, looking to the left, example of a heuristic: guardrails on a curving mountain roads prevent drivers from falling off cliffs. Yeah, I'm sure they appreciate that. So yeah, there we go. So number 6, recognition rather than recall. Minimize the user's memory load by making elements, actions, and options visible. The user should not have to remember information from one part of the interface to another. Information required to use the design, like field labels or menu items, should be visible or easily retrievable when needed. So as it says here, humans have a limited short-term memories. Interfaces that promote recognition reduce the amount of cognitive effort required from users. Tips: let people recognize information in the interface rather than forcing them to remember it. Offer help in context instead of giving users a long tutorial to memorize, and reduce the information that users have to remember. Again, some learn more links here. And again, the example here, it's easier for most people to recognize the capitals of countries instead of having to remember them. People are more likely to correctly answer the question, is Lisbon the capital of Portugal, rather than what's the capital of Portugal. Alright, number 7, flexibility and efficiency of use. Shortcuts hidden from novice users may speed up interaction for expert users, so the design can cater to both inexperienced and experienced users. Allow users to tailor frequent actions. So some tips: provide accelerators like keyboard shortcuts and touch gestures. Provide personalization by tailoring content and functionality for individual users. Allow customization so users can make selections about how they want the product to work. And an example here: regular routes listed on a map, but locals with knowledge of the area can take shortcuts. And again, our useful links down here. On to number 8, aesthetic and minimalist design. So interfaces should not contain information that is irrelevant or rarely needed. So as it says here, you don't have to use flat design. It's about making sure your content and visual design is focused on the essentials. Key tips: keep the content and visual design of the UI focused on the essentials. Don't let unnecessary elements distract users from information they really need. Prioritize the content and features to support goals. Here we've got an example of a teapot that has excessive decorative elements like an uncomfortable handle or a hard to wash nozzle that can interfere with usability. So yeah, a basic example. We've got our learn more articles down here. Okay, so on to number 9, help users recognize, diagnose, and recover from errors. So error messages should be expressed in plain language, no error codes, precisely indicate the problem, and constructively suggest a solution. Okay, so into the tips: use traditional error message visuals like bold or red text. Tell users what went wrong, avoid technical jargon. Offer users a solution like a shortcut that can solve their error immediately. A very simple one here in the example: wrong way signs on the road remind drivers they're heading the wrong direction and ask them to stop. And as always, a couple of useful links here as well. On to the last one, number 10. Okay, so help and documentation. It's best if the system doesn't need any additional explanation. However, it may be necessary to provide documentation to help users understand how to complete their tasks. So straight into the tips. Ensure that help documentation is easy to search. Whenever possible, present the documentation in context right at the moment the user requires it, and list concrete steps to be carried out. We've got our useful links here and the example here: information kiosks at airports, easily recognizable and solve customer problems in context and immediately. So that appears to be all the heuristics. Scrolling down the page, I think you can download different summary posters as well in case you need the reminders. It's a nice picture there. So there's a note here from Jakob as well. It goes on to say that the article's been updated, but generally these heuristics have remained unchanged since 1994, so it seems likely it's going to apply to future generations as well. We've got some great example links down here. We've got a checklist, we've got guidelines, we've got references, and I think there are more videos down here at the bottom of the page. And yeah, lots of content, lots of things to take in. So yeah, this is really useful guidance. It's been around for a long time, so I'd encourage you to check out the article, and I'm sure these heuristics will help you when you're designing your interface. Okay, that's it for this video. Thanks for getting to the end. So like, subscribe, all the things, and I will see you in the next video. It would appear everything looks tidy. Hiding beneath the organised top is pickled gherkins. Why? Although that's quite fun. Every household has that emergency where you want to find a pickled gherkin. Good to know. We've got some electronic lighters. Always good to be able to set fire to something. because why wouldn't you have a lighter in the study? I feel like this space should be, I don't know, I feel like it should be something different. Maybe I should mix it up. There's always that box right there that just feels like it's going to fall. And the usual pigeon visit in the morning where you get pigeons dancing over the window, which is right there. Anyway, any ideas for the office? Let me know. I feel like we should mix it up a bit. So yeah, today's video is done. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. And as always, have a great day and I'll see you in the next one.
Okay.